people would say Harry Potter. This isn't wrong, but in the real world, there's the International Quidditch Association. It's a college-level sports league where students across the world get together to play this game in real life. I was the captain of a team for 2 years. In this picture, we're wearing our practice jerseys, and today I wore my game jersey. So, to play Quidditch, all you really need to do is find a team, choose a position, learn how to play, and enter a tournament. So locating a team can kind of be the lengthiest part if you don't know where to look. We're lucky here on the East Coast because this is where Quidditch started, so there's a lot more teams. As you go west, the teams kind of start to dwindle, but that doesn't make it any less possible. Some of our local colleges have school-funded teams, like Fredonia, UB, RIT, and the community teams here in Buffalo tend to lean more towards the high school age. Once you find a team, you should choose a position. There are 7 players on a Quidditch team. 3 chasers. Their goal is to score points by throwing a quaffle through one of 3 hoops. There are 2 beaters who try to temporarily get other players out by hitting them with a ball called a bludger. Every team has a keeper. They act as a goalie to protect their hoops from the other team's chasers. And the seeker tries to catch the snitch to end the game. And the snitch is a neutral player who, as you can see in the picture, wears golden shorts with a sort of Velcro flag on the back that the seeker has to rip off to end the game. Once you pick a position, you have to learn how to play. The IQA puts out a new rule book every sports season, and we're currently on the 8th edition. The basic rules are really simple, and the most important rule is that you have to play with a broomstick. It looks kind of weird, but it helps to remind players where the game came from, the Harry Potter books. It acts as a hindrance to every player, and people think that without it, the game would be too easy. Now, it is a co-ed sport with a 4-to-3 ratio, meaning there has to be 4 of one gender. So if there's 4 girls on a team, there has to be 3 guys. And despite the fact that it's co-ed, it is full contact with tackling, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. You might think that's kind of unfair, like a guy might have an advantage, but I've seen a 5'0" little girl take down a 250-pound guy with no hesitation. For the high school adaptation, there's no tackling at all. And then for middle and elementary school, we call it Kidditch, Quidditch for kids. There's no contact whatsoever, and it's played on a smaller field. After you learn how to play and you practice, you have to find a tournament. This might be difficult if you don't know where to start looking, so that's where you ask the more experienced players. Some of our local tournaments are the Snowbelt Cup, which is like a regional game where all of the teams from our area come together. There's the Blue Devils Invitational at Fredonia, and every year at Imagine RIT they hold an exhibit. There's also an annual high school tournament that my team used to host every year, but since I'm no longer playing on a high school team, I don't know what's going to happen to it. At the end of the season, there are regionals in every area of the country, and all of the winning teams from the regionals go to the World Cup to compete for the #1 spot. It's also tradition, an unspoken rule, to make all of the trophies out of liquor bottles. It's kind of a quirky thing, but they're all hand-painted and designed to match the theme of the tournament. In 2012, the first Quidditch Olympics were held. It took place in London, less than a mile away from the actual Summer Olympics. Teams from the US, Canada, France, UK, and Australia all met for a weekend event. Since it was so close to the actual Olympics, it brought in a lot more spectators than people imagined, and it gained a lot of popularity then. So, in conclusion, to play Quidditch, all you really need to do is find a team, pick a position, learn the rules, and enter a tournament. It sounds kind of silly, but it really is taken seriously in a lot of places all over the world. It started in 2005, making this the 10th year of Quidditch, and I bet a lot of you haven't even heard of it until now.